Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Starting with this one from the world of cryptocurrencies, where the founder of Ripple has just dropped the first clue that the company is getting ready to go public. By the way, this is not completely bogus. In my opinion, this is on the cusp of happening, and there is definitely something to it. And the potential implications for XRP are worth keeping an eye on. This news story from the Crypto Basics section, 514 million XRP moved from Ripple and Bitbava wallets, sparks new sell-off concern, is also worth mentioning. But, oh well, there we are now. Oh my goodness, the worry, dread, and uncertainty. Will we survive? Here, I'll explain it in simple terms. To put it simply, I have no cause for concern. And then there's this, which caught my attention since it's so interesting. That's why I'm going to tell you a little story. According to today's paper of record, a hacker for Silk Road unwittingly displayed $70 million worth of Bitcoin on his laptop to federal agents before being apprehended. Now, listen up, you won't want to miss the rest of this tale. In this video, I'll discuss it last. Even though it's just for laughs, this person seems to have absolutely no morals or ethics, since they have stolen an incredible sum of money. To do what he did, however, intelligence is a prerequisite. But he's an intelligent moron. Simply put, he fully and irretrievably abandoned himself in that split second. Holy crap, the blunders this guy made are unfathomable. I'm relieved it was found, but not surprised. Wow, that's amazing. Indeed, he's in a pickle now. So, let me just put it out there. But before we go any further, I should clarify that I have zero backing from the financial world. I'm not here to give you money advice. Furthermore, you should not make any financial decisions based on what I say. I'm merely a hobbyist who likes to share his knowledge on crypto-related issues through YouTube videos. But only as a pastime and for recreation. Okay, so the lead piece here announces Ripple's first IPO planning hints. And I think that's the case here. So, have a look at this. With this announcement, Ripple has taken what many in the cryptocurrency community see as the first necessary step toward an IPO. In a recent hiring decision, Ripple dropped a hint. This comes at a time when expectations are rising that the payment company headquartered in San Francisco would launch an initial public offering. Specifically, Ripple is looking to hire a senior shareholder communications manager for offices all across the world. That being said, I've compiled a proper inventory for your perusal. This is the real deal, folks. You can find this information on a NYC webpage that was actually built. But here we go, Senior Manager of Shareholder Communications. I'm not reading this in its entirety. A few of things, nevertheless, under the What You'll Do section deserve special attention. Moreover, this is only one of the bullet points that is actually quite relevant. Develop and maintain fruitful relationships with analysts and educate current and potential shareholders and investors on the company's product/business strategy and goals, performance, financial positions, and announcements, working closely with the Chief Financial Officer and other senior officials. Create long-term strategies and key messages for this group, tailoring them to critical times in the company's history, including mergers and acquisitions, investments, liquidity events, and other milestones with significant significance. In addition, if I can locate it, there is a specific one that I would like to highlight. You exist. Now you have it. You can find what you're looking for with a quick Ctrl+F search. That right there is the third one, by the way. Please don't have me write any basil. Look at this. In terms of the third point, you should oversee all of the investor and analyst conferences, roadshows, and other events that are part of the regular IR calendar. Okay, a few of things here, folks. After hearing it through the grapevine from persons who do have a direct relationship to top executives at Ripple, including Brad Garlinghouse, I knew I had to report it on this channel in recent months. Things might have been different by now, granted, but I did hear that they were going to be pushing for an IPO later this year. So, it's possible that we hear about it this year. That may or may not be the case, though. I am merely relaying information I overheard. Therefore, you should just take it at face value. That settles that. And when I consider this in light of that, I have to ask, who? And then, in case you haven't heard of roadshows before, I've just pulled up. You can learn more about roadshows on Investopedia. And the IPO is the focus. If this is the sort of thing you do before an initial public offering, IPO, then the timing of this job advertising makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense that this should happen now. What, then, is a roadshow? Before an IPO, potential investors would hear pitches in multiple cities during what was called a roadshow. Before going public, the underwriting firm and the company's management team held a roadshow to promote the IPO to potential investors. In other words, they need someone new to join the team. This is what we mean by ripples. So, in my opinion, this is something that will eventually happen, and as you may know, Brad Garland stated Ripple before his company was sued by the SEC. Sure, it certainly wouldn't be the first time or the last. That's what Brad Garland House said in regards to the Ripple IPO. And, of course, the original alcoholic beverage was Coinbase. But I do think that if it weren't for that attack by the SEC, Ripple would be a public business today, but they do have to do things in order here. So, get ready, because it's on the way. Then there's the news that 514 million XRP were transferred between the Ripple and Bitvava wallets, which has sparked fresh sell-off fears. Okay, folks, I don't even need to read the article. I just want to make a couple of quick observations about this, because it's entertaining and I'm going to utilize some crypto basics to accomplish so. Things are laid out. Everyone has the right to their own foolish beliefs, because the internet and social media are what they are. But that is just a bunch of crap. Let me be completely forthright with you. That's okay. To begin, a sizable portion of the funds moved from Ripple to Bitstamp, an on-demand liquidity partner. However, as many of you may have noticed after visiting Ripple's website, on-demand liquidity is no longer the correct term to use. What do they even call it these days if not notice? They've simplified the name to just cross-border payment solution now. That's not particularly descriptive, but it seems to cover the entirety of the Ripple net. In any case, that's not a big deal. Even if it were true, though, you'd still be talking about, like, what, $250 million. That's, like, a third of your life right there. A third or a fourth of daily XRP volume, perhaps, albeit this varies from buyer to buyer. In principle, if all of it were suddenly removed, prices might fluctuate, but only for a short period of time. But are you sure that's what's going to transpire? What would you say if you knew for sure that a whale was going to sink that low? Is that how much they hope to sell? XRP? Would they dump the market all at once, driving down prices for less profit? Even if it means the price goes down because of it? Which of these is not a promise? And would they really go through with it? Or, if they plan to sell it, of course. Could they perhaps sell it over a longer percentage of time, say a few weeks or more? To be honest, I expected as much. But the total volume involved would be so tiny as to be meaningless. That sums it up. That sums up how to express the essential two ideas. It's complete and utter bullshit. This kind of garbage is everywhere these days. Sometimes I feel like talking about how much I love vegetables. Now that I've had my say, and after that previous anecdote, I'll throw in another one that's purely amusing because of how ridiculous it is. An unintentional disclosure of $70 million worth of Bitcoin on the hacker's laptop led to his arrest. I'm delighted he and his problems made the front page of the morning paper. The Silk Road hacker is shown on police body camera footage opening a laptop containing thousands of Bitcoin in front of federal investigators. Good. This is very brilliant, please applaud the author. Insight inside the mind of a morally bankrupt genius. In 2012, James Zhong stole more than 50,000 Bitcoin from the underground marketplace Silk Road, according to federal charges filed against him last year. So intent on this, he had been stealing from people for the greater part of a decade until he was caught in 2012. The whereabouts of 50,000 Bitcoin, which were once worth over $3 billion, were a mystery. And then I realized that I didn't post my doodle, so here it is. Get out your camera and video me going through this quickly. I can't believe this is actually happening. In 2019, after he discovered a break-in at his home and called the police to report it, he confessed over the phone that he was an investor in Bitcoin, immediately drawing the attention of authorities. At the same time, the IRS criminal investigation was methodically analyzing the on-chain paper trail of the 2013 Silk Road hack. Months after Song's 911 call, an investigator from the blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis was hired by the government and discovered that an address connected to the Silk Road hacker had accidentally completed a KYC, Know Your Customer, routine with a cryptocurrency exchange. How have you managed to avoid detection for so long? You're just going to hoard everything until you need it, at which point you'll utilize the address linked to the hack from 2012. You conduct a Know Your Customer, KYC, transaction from that location? How might this happen by mistake? What? What a naive little dummy. What are the odds of that happening? Why would someone act like that? It's incredible that this has occurred in this location. After that, of course, he was doomed. Then I started to worry if he was aware of it. How could he possibly not have realized that? The author never really explains how something like this may be possible. However, let's proceed a little more because this section gets more intriguing. The Internal Revenue Service devised a plan with the assistance of Sean Magruder, CEO of a cyber intelligence company called BlockTrace, to visit Zone's home and speak with him under the guise of investigating the break and enter he had reported previously. Inside look at Magruder of BlockTrade says, quote, "Lo and behold, he had $60 or $70 million worth of Bitcoins right there next to us," end quote, describing how Zone made the fatal error of telling investigators he was a Bitcoin OG, and that he had 1,500 Bitcoins sitting on one laptop alone. So, we may now withdraw $60 to $70 million from the 50,000 Bitcoin, 1,500 that just so happened to be in that wallet. And this guy was caught on camera doing it. For what reason are you displaying this? Just why is this showing up on your computer? Was that supposed to be a boast? Was he trying to make an appearance? Take a look at this or anything like it. Holy crap. In any case, the article keeps going. Zone was also discovered to be an early Bitcoin developer who frequently offered suggestions on how to enhance the Bitcoin protocol on internet forums. Investigators came again the next day, still pretending to aid him, but in reality executing search warrants. And, seriously, people, check out how far this gets while using a dog trained to sniff out computer gear. Agents excavated a safe from under Zon's concrete basement floor and discovered wallets containing addresses to more than $3 billion in Bitcoin. For his part in the hacking of Silk Road, Zanga was given a term of 1 year and 1 day in prison. Okay, I have a lot of inquiries. He has the Bitcoin, but it's in a concrete encased wallet. And they've got a fighting dog over there. How did Fido track it down? Was the smell similar to that of a computer? Is it detecting electronic scents beneath the pavement? Is there a simple explanation for this that I'm overlooking? I'm probably as stupid as a rock. Let's just say it, I have the dumbest name in the history of the XRP community. But how could a dog possibly detect Bitcoin by sniffing it through a concrete wall? Is it a dog with special training to sniff out Bitcoin? One can only draw such a conclusion if one believes that it can detect Bitcoin on hardware devices even through solid concrete. That makes perfect logic, so yeah. That justifies a new way of looking at the world. But hey, you're in jail now, right? To be honest, I was expecting a higher number. That's a lot of Bitcoin, to put it bluntly. A full 365 days, plus one. Okay. That's a decent amount of money, but I thought he'd get more than that. Whatever the case may be, please let me know your thoughts and preferences. I get that there are situations where bringing in a dog to sniff out drugs is necessary. Where would a dog look for Bitcoin? Not sure what you mean. I don't give advice on money matters. Nothing I say should influence your buying or selling decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.